Hello everyone. I'm back. I survived. I'm alive. Hooray. Ah. Somehow the mornings just disappear, and I don't think that's very fair. How is it midday already? How? It's not fair. How's everyone doing on this, for me, super overcast Friday? Glad it's Friday. I'm not sure I agree with that personally, because my kids have a long weekend again. I love my children. I love my children very much. But they're a lot. They're intense. Okay, I think I'm all set up. I even have a plan of stitches now that we're like more than halfway through now, which is cool. So yes, I have a plan. The plan may change a little bit depending on how long it takes for today's potential first, if not only, stitch to take. My computer is chugging. Jug jug. Go like that. So I'm just fixing Twitch right now. Okay. So today I didn't get a chance, first of all, some housekeeping. I didn't get a chance to update the pattern yesterday, and it completely disappeared from my mind today. So I'm going to just quickly write it down in my to-do list. And I will make sure to do that sometime this weekend. So apologies for that. Today we are going to definitely be doing the closed feather stitch, which is the one that's in between what we did yesterday. Just bringing my... I don't really need my chat on my computer because I can see it right here. It's right in front of me, like in the way, kind of in front of me. Anyway. So with that, I'll just rearrange my computer a little. Oh, it's so slow. I've got too many things open. That's the problem. Okay, so to do this one, if you're following along with the pattern, we're going to use our darker blue from like the same color family of blues that we did from yesterday, and for the pattern that's 161 DMC. We are going to, I'm just checking we're going to use 4 strands. I know that bit is correct in the pattern, at least. Ugh, look at that. I've got this tiny little piffy bit of floss. That's not really helpful. But I do have 2 strands, a long cut of 2 strands. So I'm just going to load up my needle and we will get started. And a reminder, because it's Friday, my kids have early dismissal from school, so we are on a tight time frame of needing to finish no later than 1:45. So in 40 minutes-ish, I'll need to make sure that we've stopped. I'm hoping that despite that, we might be able to get through 2 stitches today. We'll see how we go. So, because we are working with a tiny amount of vertical space here, it is a tiny little stitch. I will grab my finished one. You can see it's not as squished up as the cretin stitch we did yesterday, but it is still pretty teensy on here. But it's a lot easier, in my opinion. We don't have to worry about like numbering 4 or 2 imaginary lines. We're just working with the bottom line and the top line. So we are first going to do a little straight stitch like we did here to like outline the beanie, and I'm going to come up at the bottom corner. I'm doing this deliberately because I want to start my first stitch in this point, and I'm going to meet up with the previous straight stitch. Now we can get onto the stitch. I'm going to come back up where I just came up before. Moving behind my work, I'm moving the knot out of the way. And then normally, because I would hold this in my hand, I would turn my work and like adjust everything, and actually do the sewing method, which is kind of like this, where you see, I can't do it because of the angle, where you actually like don't do anything behind your work. But because of my restrictions, I'm going to be going back in. We're basically coming up and going in where we just did with our little straight stitch, but don't pull through, because we're going to come up however far you want to. I've just matched up the little cretin stitch bit, and we're coming through the loop. So we're going to make a little triangle. And then we're going to go back in again. Well, we'll go in where we've come up twice already. And don't pull all the way through. And we're going to we'll do little right angle triangles. Come up on roughly the same vertical as what we just did before, again through the loop, and that will make two little triangles. We're going to go back in to, hopefully you can see that, it's a little bit trickier, angle it down so the light's a bit better. So where we came up just before, we're going to poke in and then not pull through, as you can see, make our next triangle. Then we're going to go in to where we just came up before, and come back through the loop. So as you stitch, you want to be making sure that your little triangles are sitting the way you want them to, because you can't go back easily. You have to undo everything if you need to go back and redo your stitches. This is a fun stitch. Yes, I agree. These kinds of stitches make me marvel at how the next stitch holds the previous stitch, if that makes sense. Because this triangle is relying on the start of this triangle that I'm about to do to sit in place. So if you understand what I mean when I say the sewing method, you'll probably see what I mean. See what I mean by now, by it being a lot easier to do, especially when you're holding it in hand. So my little triangles at the top are getting a little bit invisible. So before I go too far, we want to be making sure that we're on the same level as the cretin stitch, like little bits are, so that we don't so that the lines on the outside of this closed feather stitch kind of make it look like that's the divide between the two stitches, if that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. Oops. I'm about to run out of floss, and I think it's just at the wrong time. Might do a little tricksy end one. Okay, so the last triangle you want to do you want to make sure it is straight up and down in place of a straight stitch to do the edge of the beanie. And I've done, because I'm struggling with the amount of floss I've got, kind of pulled in tight too much. And then to tack it down, we're inside the loop. We're inside the loop. We want to go like our lazy daisy stitch. We want to tack it down by going on the outside of the loop in the same spot we just came up. So that's our little closed feather stitch. I'm just gonna move that out of the way. And yeah, it makes a nice little like back stitch kind of look on the back. Okay, there we go. Alright, I'll get some more floss. Ooh, how many strands have I got here? 6, okay. Just loading my needle again. Alright, so it doesn't matter if you go from the same direction. I like working left to right, so I will be. So to begin it again, we're going to do our little straight stitch. Just to keep it with a little edge, little border. And then I'm going to come up in where I just came up before, and then have a total blank, mental blank. Go back in again where where we just went in before, and then make our little loop. I definitely find that I get in like a groove, and then when something like changing the floss over happens, I just completely forget what I was doing, how it was done, etc. Our brains are fun, aren't they? Oops. So you might notice sometimes I'm like gently moving the floss out of the way before I put the needle through, and that's because I'm trying to just make sure that the little corners that are being tacked down are sitting the way I want them to. So when I go like, oh, that's the wrong spot, my bad. When I go in here, I'm just like moving the floss up very slightly so that I can make sure that the previous stitch sits where I want it to sit. See, like that one doesn't want to sit the way I want it to sit. So I'm going to use my next stitch to just tell it off, basically. That one really doesn't want to sit where I want it to sit. Why is that? Just want a game of floss chicken. Nice. That is such a good feeling when that happens. There we go. I think I'm going to have to get another freaking cut of floss at the end of this one. I am. That sucks. You do want to make sure that so two things that just came to mind, that you end the stitch in a corner so that you can do the little like outline stitch. Well, no, sorry, you don't have to do a little outline stitch, but also that you've got just one cut of floss to like the whole entire row, because starting and stopping is kind of tricky. Wow, that one did not want to sit where I wanted to sit. I'm actually going to do one little stitch here. I'm actually going to like tack it down where I want it to sit. There we go. I'm going to do another one over here where I had a lot of trouble. It's just because I'm not able to hold it the way I want to hold it. The hoop, I mean. There we go. Okay. I gotta flip my work over again. And yeah, like you just saw me doing some random little stitches then, just to put it down where I want it to. Some people might think that that's cheating. When it comes to trying to replicate a design, I personally think that's perfectly fine to do. As long as it's not, you know, a different color or it's really gaudy or whoops, then I don't see the harm in doing something that helps your stitch sit the way you want it to sit. So just something to think about. I'm going to do this last one a little bit longer. I might be playing a game of floss chicken too. There's no embroidery police, exactly. Do whatever makes you happy. It's probably for the best that there's no embroidery police. I'd say I'd be in jail after yesterday's fiasco. Trying to keep my hands out of the way, and I'm failing dismally. Oh, but this one's looking much nicer. I think I just jinxed it. Oh, this is going to be a close game of floss chicken. My friends. Oh no. Might all get to see me try and rectify the situation. I need to do one more. I don't have enough thread. I could go like this. Alright. This is not going to work. Okay, I'm going to have to do some fancy footwork here. By footwork I mean finger work, because I was hoping that I could get away with not having to cut off another bit of thread, but not the case. Alright, did I mess it up? No! Hooray! Okay, well, that'll teach me for trying to be frugal with my floss. It won't, but it should. Okay. 1, 2. If you've got any questions, let me know. Again, if you're on Instagram, you can send a question in the little question box thingy. I will see it. Oh, come on. I don't think we're going to get to the next stitch. Just looking at the time, and it's like, yeah, we still got like a decent amount of time, but sorry, it's a decent amount of time that we've done this, but there's only like 20 minutes until I need to stop. There we go. So it's not the end of the world if you have to put a new thing of floss on. It just doesn't, it makes it look a little bit chunkier there where I had to come up twice. So, yay! That's our little closed feather stitch. I like this beanie I would wear. Ah, it's even cuter with a little pom-pom on top, trust me. I mean, I think that all beanies are adorable with a pom-pom on top though, so maybe I'm biased. No, let's see what we can do. We'll try and do the next stitch. So we're going to move down to our rug. Come on, my phone doesn't want to sit where I want it to sit. There we go. Okay, we'll move that down here. So this is another secret hidden special stitch that I didn't label in the pattern. It's called the couching stitch. And for this, we need a second needle. So what color did I do? I think I did the darker red. Yeah, okay. So we're going to get our dark red, which if you're following the pattern, again, it's 2, 2, 1 in DMC. We're going to get whatever amount of floss you want on one needle. Looks like I did 6 on my piece. And then you want to get 6 on your other needle. I've got 2 here. So look, another little square just flew off. These freaking numbers, they're useless. I'm going to write it down now, 2, 2, 1, before I forget, and then I'm like, oh no, what color is this? Because that's classic me. So if I go too fast, let me know. I am going to try and speed through this a little bit. It is a very easy stitch, so I'm not terribly worried. So first I'm going to load one needle with the 6 strands. So I've got that one, and then I'm going to load, actually I'm going to use, I've got four strands on over here. I'm going to do 4 strands for the other one. That is not a sharp needle, that is a round end needle. That's tiny, I can't use that. There we go. Okay, so I'm just putting 4 strands on my other needle. So again, this is our super secret hidden stitch. You can do this however you want, but I thought couching might be kind of fun. What we're going to do, so just to be clear, I've got 2 needles, I've got 6 strands on this one and 4 on this one. We're going to take our needle with 6 strands, we're going to come up in one of the corners. So like, I'm going to start down here. And then we're going to go in to the other corner. And then put that needle aside. We're then going to take our other needle. So this is the one with 4 strands for me. You could do 6, you could do 2, you could do 1, you could do, I wouldn't suggest any more than 6, but you could do like 10 if you wanted to, whatever. We're going to come up at the little like intersection thingy. We're going to not get our threads tangled. And then we're going to do a little like, oh, hang on, I didn't move the knot out of the way and I pierced the knot. We're going to do like our little lazy daisy stitches and we're going to tack it down. We're going to go to the next one with the same needle. So there's 4 strands. We're going to go up to the next intersection and we're going to tack that down. And then we're going to go up to the next one and tack that down. These are both the same color, yes, that is correct. Then I'm going to just feel my way to do this. No, I'm not. What I'm going to do is flip my work over because we want to come up. You can just go down here and then come back up here if you want to, but I'm actually just going to tangle my thread deliberately and then pierce back in here. So that's just going to like pull like that. Hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, let me know. So I'm going to come back up where I went in with this. This is a 6-strand needle. Sorry, I'm about to lose my other needle. Alright, 6 strands were coming up. I don't know why that happened, but that's okay. And then we're going to go in, down here. And that one I've just attached to my needle minder, that needle. So now I've got my 4 strands again. I'm coming up at the intersection and going in. Coming up at the next one and going in. Once we get around the curve, we're going to be moving our thread so that it follows the curve. So I'm going to loop under the 6-strand thread and then tack it down. Same with this one. And that. So the reason this is separate from the plaid filling stitch is because the plaid filling stitch is usually done not curved like this. I'm going to flip my work over again while I talk. Usually you do it straight lines, but I couldn't figure out a way to do this rug that I wanted to design in a way that worked with plaid filling, if that makes sense. Okay, now I've got my 6-strand needle again, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing all the way over here. I got to move the knot behind my work out of the way. And where's my 4-strand? I just don't want to tangle it. Hold on. Yeah, okay, I'm good. Pull through. So I'm not pulling too tight, and that's the reason why we're doing each stitch one at a time, because obviously that's not sitting right. And my hoop holder has gone all loose. There we go. I'm going to put this up here. There we go. So because the last stitch was over here, I'm going to start down here. Oh, at this one, sorry. Run under my floss and tack it down. And come up the next one. And go back in. You don't have to do these two really close together, but I kind of liked how it would look like that. So we are pulling on this thread, and we are like loosening it a bit, and that's okay. So we want it to do a much nicer curve. Okay, as you can see, this is like all loose. To fix that, we just pull our 6-strand needle. And that's our little outline. Just thinking if I should do... I did it with these lines too, but it really wasn't very necessary. It's technically a different stitch actually. But we are going to leave it there for the day because it will give me a little bit extra time to get ready to pick up my kids. So hopefully that is looking very good. Hopefully you're happy with how we're doing. A reminder that Monday there is no session because my kids don't have school and I can't do this with them hanging around because, yeah, they're 5 and 7 and they're very needy. But on Tuesday, we are going to finish the inside of this. We're not going to do the little tassels yet. So that will be next, and I think that will take up the whole of Tuesday. So thanks so much for coming. Thanks so much for questions and joining in. And I really appreciate everyone sharing their work on Instagram. I'm seeing it a lot, which is awesome. I'm trying to remember to share everything that I see. So apologies if I miss your stuff. It's definitely not intended. It's not a judgment of your work or anything like that. So thank you very much. I hope everyone has an awesome weekend and wish me luck that I get through the next couple of days scot-free with this vaccination booster because my arm hurts. But anyway, thank you very much, and I'll see everyone on Tuesday. Bye!